Okay, this tutorial will focus on the requirements of the speech and what I'm going to be looking for as far as content from all of you. I realize I'm going to get a broad spectrum of topics. That's what I like. But I always like to have a couple things there that everyone needs to do. So first of all, if you go to the outline template, you'll see that we go define, describe, and humanize. And so that is its own separate way to get your content. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the 3-point format, but I'm looking for a good description of the problem. I'm also looking for the definition of the problem to sort of put it in terms that everyone can understand, to look at the scope of the problem. Is it a worldwide problem? Is it a personal problem? Is it a problem that's mainly geared towards students or a certain group of people? If it's, say you're doing it on Alzheimer's, maybe you have a parent or a grandparent or an uncle who has struggled with Alzheimer's and you've seen that, then of course, the general bigger problem is it's more of a senior citizen problem than it is your problem being 20 years old. It doesn't make it any less of a problem, okay? And then the biggest part really is the humanizing. And I've said this to you as we've gone along. I want you to put a face on the problem. And that comes with storytelling, of course. So this structure that I've laid out in the outline will be a good way for you to sort of make sure that you're making it broad when it needs to be broad. So to speak in general terms about what percentage of the population experiences this, or what area of the world experiences this. Of course, you could do climate change and say, the whole world's in on this one, right? But then you need to humanize it. You need to put a face on it so that it becomes more personal. And this is your really thought process here. This is your challenge to offer me both the broader general perspective and the narrow, more personal consequences of whatever problem you try to get into. And of course, remember, just because I have it in the outline as describe, define, humanize, that doesn't mean that you can't start with a really personal story and then zoom out. This is really what I like. I like to start close, make it personal, and then zoom out to give me a broader perspective, and then zoom back in to finish, to make it really personal again at the close. Remember what I said in the last tutorial about your conclusion, to really lay it on the table for me. All right, here's how it's affected me, but here's what it could mean for you. Okay, these are the challenges you face in the construction. So you've got to give it some thought. And don't be tied down to your first 3 thoughts. Use the outline to organize. Okay, the requirements here are minimal. In the introduction, we've done questions, we've done the imagine. What I want to hear in those first 20 seconds is a statistic. I want a number and a source together in your introduction. How you work it in is up to you, but I want to hear a statistic in that introduction. Statistics help give me perspective, okay? And really, besides one other instance in your body of a stat study combination, just one, okay? So we get one statistic and study combination in your intro, and then one more throughout the body. The conclusion I've left totally up to you. I like conclusions short and powerful. All right? And I want the call to action. I want you at the end to give something to me, to make it my problem too. All right? And I think we'll end it there. Give it some thought. Don't be afraid to share with me along the way as your process evolves to let me know, and ask me, am I on the right direction here? What do you add? And I'll help you in those ways too. Okay? Time to think.